So welcome to Big Data lecture series. So in the previous session we completed the concepts of Hive, working of Hive architecture and how to perform basic programming activities in Hive have been completed. Now in this session we are going to see the concepts of pig, that is Apache pig, and the architecture of pig and anatomy of pig and programming aspects related to pig are going to be discussed in detail. Now we are going to see the concepts of pig, which are going to be covered in the syllabus. Now the learning objectives and learning outcomes of the syllabus are, here we will focus mainly on to study the key features of pig and basic anatomy of pig. That means what are the parts of pig architecture, what is the working of each and every module are going to be discussed in detail. And we will see in how many modes the pig is going to be executed and how many modes the pig is going to be run in Hadoop environment will be discussed. And we will study the various operations and operators which are going to be performed in pig environment are going to be discussed in detail. Upon completion of the syllabus, we will have a complete command on the pig commands, pig programming aspects, and pig execution modes, and how to run pig programs in Hadoop environment will be discussed in detail. And we'll see we are able to know the complete differentiations between pig and Hive. Let's move to the syllabus. So these are the following concepts which are going to be offered in our syllabus. They are introduction to pig, the anatomy of pig, how pig is going to be executed on Hadoop, that is pig on Hadoop, pig philosophy, various use cases. In this we will see how ETL activities are going to be executed in pig environment, and programming aspects of pig, that is called pig Latin. Pig Latin is one of the programming language used in pig environment. So in that pig Latin we will see the data types of pig, various execution modes and running modes of pig, different types of data types, basic commands in pig, different types of operators, what is the use of piggy banking, and we will see the word count example of pig, and finally we will see the differences between pig and Hive. Let's move to the agenda. So in this session we are going to see the following concepts. We will see the key features of pig, and we will see the basic definition of pig, and we will see the diagrammatic representation of pig anatomy, and we will see the basic activities of pig on Hadoop or any other storage environment, and we will see what are the major activities of pig in the form of pig philosophy, and we will see the pig Latin overview, like how to write a statement in pig Latin, how to declare a variable, how to declare a statement, and how to declare an identifier, how to put a comment, we are going to discuss in detail. And we will see the various data types in pig. That means what are the simple data types and what are the complex data types. And the remaining concepts are, we will see the execution modes and running modes of pig, and we will see the various operators like relational operators, and we will see the basic functions in pig environment in order to process the data, that is pig eval function. We will see the pig banking, and we will see when to use pig and when not to use pig. That means what are the restrictions of using a pig in data processing activities, and we will see finally differences between pig and Hive. So these are the following concepts we are going to cover in the syllabus. Let's move to the content. Now, what is a pig? Now that means what is the meaning of a pig and what is the activities of pig in real-time applications. So pig is initially developed by the Yahoo, and later it was handed over by Apache Foundation. So it is called Apache Pig is a platform for data analysis. That means in addition to MapReduce, we can also use pig for data analytical activities or data processing activities. So in addition to MapReduce, we can also use a pig analytical tool. So basic data analytical activities are going to be executed using pig environment. It is an alternative for MapReduce programming. That means the main objective of pig is we can perform basic data analytical activities either by accessing data from HDFS environment or by accessing data from various other sources. So in addition to MapReduce, we can also use as a pig, because pig is one of the sub project of Hadoop ecosystem. So in Hadoop we are having two main modules, they are HDFS and MapReduce. In addition to HDFS and MapReduce, we are having some more sub projects. In that, among those sub projects, pig is one of the project which is used for data analytical activities. Next we will see the features of pig. That means what are the basic features which are offered by the pig environment, we will see now. So a pig will act as a search engine or an engine for executing data flows. That means whenever you want to access the data from Hadoop environment or from any sources, in order to look into the data or to perform basic search operations, pig will act as a engine. That means when we are looking or when we are transferring data from HDFS to pig environment, here pig is going to perform either read or write operations. To do all these activities, pig will act as a engine or search engine. Now it provides, pig will offer a programming language called pig Latin. So pig Latin is a programming language which is going to be used in pig environment. Now what are the contents a pig will contain? That is pig Latin. Pig Latin will contain set of operators and some traditional operators, like we can perform join operations, filter operations and basic sort operations, and we can also do some aggregation operations. And pig will allow to define or to write user level user defined functions. That means we can write some user defined functions also in pig environment. Now these functions are used either to perform basic read write operations. That means these are the following offerings from pig. Pig will act as a engine in order to perform data processing activities. To write programming concepts, pig is offering a programming called pig Latin. Now pig Latin, like any other programming languages, pig Latin will also have data types, various data types. Pig Latin will also have some operators. Basic operations can be performed using pig Latin. We can also, if you want to declare, we can also declare statements. If you want to declare any comment, we can also write comments in pig Latin environment. And also pig Latin will provide a provision to perform user defined functions in order to complete read write operations in pig environment. So these are the basic features of pig environment. The next one, we will see the basic anatomy of pig. That means what are the parts of a pig, and in this anatomy we will discuss what are the main modules of the pig and what are the architecture of pig. The pig will contain the following components. They are, to write programming concepts, we are having a component called pig Latin. So it is a data flow language. And to have an interaction with storage environment and to the user level environment, we are using a shell called grunt shell. This interactive grunt shell is used to write basic pig Latin programming statements and comments. So in order to write pig Latin, comments, or you can say commands or statements, we are taking the help of this interactive shell, that is called grunt shell. And another module is the interpreter module and execution module. To compile the program and to execute the program, the PIG module called interpreter module execution module engine will be used to perform programming related activities like compilation and execution. Now we'll see the how the PIG is going to be used on Hadoop environment. That means how PIG is going to be used in Hadoop environment now. By default, PIG will run on Hadoop. Like any other sub-projects of Hadoop ecosystem, PIG will also run on Hadoop. That is, PIG will access data from HDFS environment. On top of the Hadoop, we can execute PIG programs and we can write PIG programs. Now, PIG uses both HDFS file system as well as MapReduce programming. That means both components of Hadoop like HDFS and MapReduce, both are on both these two components a PIG can execute. We can execute PIG programs in these two environments. By default, PIG reads input files from HDFS. As we discussed earlier, PIG is a sub-project of Hadoop environment. So by default, PIG is having a provision to perform read and write operations on HDFS environment. And PIG stores the data, that is whatever intermediate data which has been generated is going to be stored in an intermediate location with the help of MapReduce jobs, and it will store the outputs in HDFS environment. And in addition to HDFS, PIG can also perform read-write operations from other storage sources. By default, PIG is used in HDFS environment. In addition to HDFS, some other sources also, PIG can perform read and write operations. That is the advantage of PIG environment. Now, this is the layout or architecture of PIG environment, or you can say Apache PIG environment. Now, look at here. At the bottom level, we are having the default components. They are HDFS and MapReduce. HDFS is used for storage purpose. All the files are going to be stored in HDFS environment. Processing activities can be performed in MapReduce environment. These are the fundamental blocks in Hadoop environment. On top of these two, what we are doing? We are executing PIG environment. Now, initially we have seen three components of Hadoop. That is, three components of PIG. Now, the three components are grunt shell. This is an interactive shell which is used to write or to access files, to write programs and to access files or to perform read-write operations. We can use grunt shell. And to compile and execute programs, we are using a module called parser module, optimizer, compiler and execution. So all these collectively we can call it as interpreter and execution module. So in this interpreter and execution module, we can perform basic parsing operations, compilation operations, execution of programs, and we are storing all the information by performing basic search operations on execution engine. So, and we are having PIG server. So this complete module we can call it as a PIG module. Now to perform all these activities, we are taking the help of a language called PIG Latin script. So PIG Latin language here we are using to write commands and to write programs in order to perform basic read and write operations on HDFS environment. So these are the main modules of Apache Pig architecture. HDFS, MapReduce, Grunt Shell, Pig Server, Parser, Optimizer, Compiler, Execution Search Engine, Pig Server, and on top of we are having Pig Latin scripts. Now we'll see the Pig philosophy. Now what is a Pig philosophy here? What are the activities that we can perform? Pig processing tool or Pig analytical tool. Here there are 4 major philosophies. Just we'll see one by one. Pig eats anything. The statements may look funny, but every statement is having some hidden meaning. Look at here. Pig eats anything. That means in pig environment, we can store any type of the data. Any type of data can be stored in pig environment. That means either we can store structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. This is the meaning. In pig environment, we can store any type of the digital data. That is the meaning of pig eat anything. Now comes to pig live anywhere. Pig live anywhere. That means pig can be executed on HDFS environment or any other sources other than Hadoop and HDFS. Other sources, on other sources also, pig can execute, pig can access, or pig can perform read-write operations. Pigs are domestic animals. That means in pig environment, we can write user-defined functions. Pig will permit us to write user-defined functions in order to perform reading and write operations on the data which has been stored. That means pig will allow to write user-defined functions. Pigs fly. Pigs fly. That means pigs can execute all programs by accessing data from HDFS. Pigs can execute all programs by accessing content from HDFS environment. Now these are the 4 philosophy statements of pig. Pig eats anything. That means pig can store any type of data, structured, unstructured, or semi-structured data. Pigs live anywhere. Pigs can store or can access data from HDFS or any other sources. Pigs are domestic animals. That means pigs are offering user-defined functions. Pigs can fly. Pigs can be moved. That means the source code can be moved and the data can be moved from either HDFS environment to pig environment. Now, how to perform the basic ETL operations in pig environment? That means this will be considered as use case to perform basic ETL operations. That is extraction, transformation, and loading. That means how to perform basic ETL operations. Extraction, transformation, and loading. These are the basic data pre-processing related activities: extraction, transformation, and loading. Now, how to perform ETL operations in pig environment? Let us take this middle block is a pig environment. Now, how the pig environment is used for ETL operations? Let us take here. Here we are collecting data from various sources, like we are collecting data from operation sources or operation database. We are collecting data from account database. We are collecting data from call center database. That means from various sources, we are collecting data Once data has been extracted or collected, data validation has to be done first. That means validation in the sense data pre-processing activities are going to be carried out, like data cleaning operations and all remaining data pre-processing operations are going to be completed in this first module or first activity. And after performing all these activities, if any errors encounters during the data transfer or data moving from sources to pig environment, those errors are going to be handled. Now these errors are going to be stored in log files or log information. So all logs are going to be analyzed and they'll try to fix the errors. And once data is available, here the data duplication, that means redundancy. Data redundancy is going to be eliminated. That means duplicate data is going to be eliminated in third activity. And in fourth activity, data encoding techniques are going to be applied on the data in order to convert the data into required format. So here in fourth activity, data encoding techniques are going to be applied on the data. So in pig environment, each and every job, each and every task will undergo all these four phases: validation, fixing of errors, removing duplicates and encoding of the data. After completion of all these four phases, data is saved securely in single centralized location. We can call it as a data warehouse. So upon completion of all these four activities like validation, fixing of errors, elimination of duplicates and encoding values, we are storing data in a centralized location. That data, whatever we are storing, is a purified data. It is a purified data. Now this data can be used for analytical activities. That is, the final data, whatever we are storing, is going to be used for analytical activities. So this is the complete overview of performing ETL activities in pig environment. Next we'll see, and we are entering into the actual programming concept by using pig Latin statements. Now, there is a default programming order. That means in pig Latin statement, they have given an order of writing programming code in pig Latin environment. Let us see here. The first statement should be load statement that reads data from file location. That means in order, the first statement must be a data load operation. So in this data load operation, we have to specify the path of the exact source file and its location. So in this first statement, here we have to mention the path, the program file path, or you can say the source file path where we are performing analytical activities. And second statement, second is not a single statement, it is a series of statements. The actual Latin statements and coding statements will be written in the second phase. First phase is used only to load the source file. After loading the source file, whatever required statements or operations we want to perform on the data, those statements are going to be written in second phase in order. So after loading the data, we are writing all the required operations. Let us say we want to perform some sort operation. Now we can apply sort operations here. If you want to perform any data filtering operations, we can apply filtering operations here. If you want to apply any data aggregations, we can apply aggregation operations in second module. And after completion of second module, the third statement is if you want to write the data into a particular location or if you want to display the results, the third statement is going to be used. That means either to dump. Dump is used to display the output or to store the results or data in a specified location. That relevant commands are going to be used in third block. So these are the order of writing a pig Latin statements. The order is The first order is we have to write the file path in the form of using a load statement. In second statement, here we have to write the required series of Latin commands or statements in order to complete our data analytical operations. After completion of analytical operations, if you want to display the results or if you want to store the results, the required comments can be, the required statements can be written in third phase. So this is the order. Let's have a look at on this example here. Here we have written some basic example. Here the first statement is the load command. Look at here. Here we used a command called load command. And what is a load command? Here we are loading a database table that is called student table. And student table is having three attributes. They are roll number, name and GPA of the student. And second statement, this is order number 2. This is order number 1. In second statement, what we are doing? We are applying required commands or statements to apply our required analytical operations. So here we applied a command called filter command. We are applying data filter. Now on which we are applying, look at here, we are applying a filter on A. And the condition is GPA should be greater than 4.0. Just have a look at here. Here we have written a variable called A. Look at here, A is not a variable here. Because we are familiar in other programming languages, a single character will call it as a variable, but in this it is not a variable, it is a data record. That means the complete student table is loaded in this variable called A. So A is not having a single value, A is having complete tabular information of student table. On that table we are applying a filter command and the condition is GPA greater than 4.0. Now what it will do? The total number of records in the student table, whichever falls this condition, those records are going to be moved into A again. Let us take, in this initial table, we are having 10 records, like record number 1 up to record number 10. We are having some GPA value here, roll number and name of the student. Here the GPA of the student is some 4.1, here it is 3.2, like 4.3, like this we are having. But based on the condition, let us assume only 2 records are there whose GPA value is greater than 4.0, that is record number 1 and record number 10. These 2 records only are moved into A. Initially A is having 10 records. Now after applying the condition, the data in A is going to be replaced with these 2 statements based on the condition what we applied here. And now look at here. And we are applying another statement for each A. For each record in A, generate uppercase name. That means in this example we are having 2 records, that is record number 1 and record number 10. Now in these 2 rows, the name of the student should be displayed in uppercase. This is the condition we have written here. For each value in A, generate upper of name. The student name is going to be displayed in capital letters. Now the third statement in order is store A into my report. Here we are storing the values of A into a file called my report. Now what the my report will have? My report will have information like this. My report may have information like this. Let us assume we are having these 2 records. Roll number, name of the student and GPA. So here the GPA values are 4.1 and 4.3 as per our assumption. Here we applied a condition called name should be in uppercase. So let us take the name of the student is John and another name of the student is Ravi. So initially the table values may be in any one of the case, but finally we are applying into uppercase. So the values or the names of the students will be in uppercase, and then roll number is 1212 and 1256. Let us take two examples here. So finally, initially A is having 10 rows or records. After applying this condition, we got only 2 rows into A, and after applying this condition, A will have 2 rows with in this format. All the names of the students will move to uppercase. And finally, what we are doing, we are storing all the 2 values in a report. This is called my report. So this is my report. The file name is my report. So this is the order of writing statements: loading, writing required number of statements in second phase, storing or displaying the values in third order. So this is the order of writing Pig Latin statements. Now, what are the valid identifiers here? Now look at here. Whenever you want to declare a variable, how to declare a variable in Pig environment? Just here we are having some examples. On first row, we have given some valid identifier. That means we can write a single character name. We can write character and number combination, that is alphanumeric. We can write alphanumeric with some special characters like underscore. We can write only a variable with case combination like uppercase and lowercase. There are some invalid identifiers. We can't declare a variable with a number. We can't declare a variable with a number. And there should not be a special symbol like dollar symbols. Like here, there should not be combination of dollars special symbols. Here also, percentage symbol is not allowed here. Underscore symbol before the name is also not allowed. So these are the valid identifiers and invalid identifiers which are going to be declared in Pig Latin programming and grammar to understand the program properly. Here also, Pig Latin will offer 2 types of comments like single line comment and multi-line comment. Single line comment written like this. 2 underscore symbols can be used for single line comment, and for multi-line comment slash star star slash. In between these 2 symbols we can write any number of lines of comments based on our requirement. Now, what are the basic operators that we can declare in Pig environment? These are all known examples. Like Pig will offer some arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modular division. And we can also perform comparisons like equal, not equal, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. These comments are also can be used in Pig Latin environment. And we can also, there is a special operator called null operator. This null operator indicates or can be used if the value of the variable is not known or not existed. If the value is not known and if the value is not existed. In these 2 cases, we can use a keyword called null. So we can have types of null values are is null, is not null. These 2 can be used for conditional checking or comparison. And special operators are Boolean operators, and or not operators can also be performed in Pig Latin environment. Now, what are the various data types that a Pig will offer? There are 2 categories of data types that we can write in Pig environment. They are simple data types and complex data types. Now here simple data types are, the familiar types are integer, long, float, double, char array, byte array, date and time, Boolean. Look at here. If you want to declare a whole number, we can use integer. Let us take roll number of a student. 1214. Now we can use integer. Now if you want to write a phone number, mobile number of a student, then it's a very large whole number. We can use long. If you are having a decimal number like price of a height of a student, 167.7 centimeters, then it can be written in decimal. If it is having highly precision number like pi value 3.1417 something, if you are having very high precision value, we can use double. If you want to write a name of a student, we can use text strings like name of a student equal to John. If you are having byte information, like generally byte information is stream of data. When we are storing, when we are calling a complete array information, a group of values in array information, we can use character array and byte array. And to store date and time information, we can use date and time, like date of birth of a student based on the time, event log or login time of a system, file updation time and date can be represented using date and time. And to indicate the condition whether true or false, we can use Boolean. So integer, long, float, double, char array, byte array, date, time and Boolean are the simple data types that we can use in Pig Latin. And some complex data types are also there. They are tuple. That means the ordered set of values. The ordered set of values, like example, a set of numbers 2, 3. Whenever you want to represent a group of values or set of values, we can use tuple. And we can use one more data type called bag. Bag is a group of tuples. Whenever you want to write more sets into a single environment, we can use bag. It is a collection of tuples, like 2, 3 is one tuple, 7, 5 is another tuple. And another one is map. So whenever you want to map a key value pair information from MapReduce, we can use this map data type. That is, key value paired information can be accessed by using map data type. So these are the complex data types in Pig environment. Now we'll see how can we run a Pig. That means how can we run a Pig in any one of the operating system. Let us take in Ubuntu how the Pig is going to be executed. Now the Pig can be run in two ways, that is interactive mode and batch mode. We can run Pig in two modes. One is interactive mode and batch mode. Now how to write in interactive mode? So to write in interactive mode or to start the interactive mode, we have to use a basic command called pig when we open a grunt shell. That means after opening the shell, we will get the basic root information of the shell, like root @ like localhost, something is here. Here we have to write a command called pig. And if you press enter, the pig is going to be loaded in this grunt shell. This is a grunt shell. So to run pig in interactive mode, we have to use an interactive shell called grunt shell. In that grunt shell, we have to write a command called pig command as an initial command to open interactive mode. When it comes to batch mode, create pig scripts with an extension called .pig. That means initially we have to create pig files with an extension called .pig. Once these files have been created, now these files can be used to run in pig environment. Either directly we can write program in interactive mode, or we can write already declared file can be used in batch mode. The file extension must be .pig. Now, in how many ways we can execute pig programs? Now, there are two modes. One is local mode, second one is MapReduce mode. Local mode means within the machine, within a standalone machine. The command is pig-x space local space file name. Let us take here where we want to run a program called pig-x local student dot tsv. So what will happen? These commands, that pig -x local, these commands will run student.tsv file in a standalone machine. If the file is not existed, it will throw an error. If file is already created and existed, it will execute the file and it will display the contents of the file. Whenever you want to execute in a MapReduce environment, we have to use a command called pig file name. Pig and file name. Once if you use this command, the components of MapReduce and operations of MapReduce are going to be applied on this file name. So we can use either local mode and MapReduce mode to execute a file in pig Latin environment. Now look at here, we will see the basic operations that we can perform in pig Latin environment. They are how to apply filter command. That means how to apply filter command in pig Latin statement. Look at here. Here we want to filter all the tuples of the student, or we want to filter all the student details whose GPA is greater than 4.0. If any student is having GPA value greater than 4.0, how to write a program? Now look at the statements here. As we discussed earlier, the first statement must be a load command. We have to load the file by writing its file location. Look at here. A load is a command /pigdemo student.tsv. That means this is the file path. This entire statement is the file path. Here we used a keyword called load space the required source file path as is a keyword. What we are loading? Roll number of type integer, name of the student as character array, and GPA is a float value. GPA float value. So we declared the syntactical information which is required to access the data. And look at the second statement. Here we are applying a filter operation. That keyword is filter. Where we are applying filter? We are applying the data of student.tsv. The student.tsv file will be stored in variable A. That means now variable A is equals to student.tsv. That means the complete information of student.tsv is loaded in this single character called A. Now on this A we are applying our filter. Filter A by is a keyword. On which variable we are applying? We are applying on GPA. What is the condition? GPA is greater than 4.0. That means on the records of A we are putting a condition GPA greater than 4.0. All the records based on the condition which satisfies the condition are moved into B. That means after applying the condition, whatever student record is having greater than 4.0 or all the student information whose GPA is greater than 4.0 are going to be stored in B. Now third statement, we are dumping. Dump B. Dump will act as a print statement. Dump B will throw the or will display the information of all the records based on our condition greater than 4.0. Now how to use a keyword called for each? That means iterative statement. How to use iterative statement in pig environment. Now here display the names of all the students in uppercase. Here our task is we want to display all the student names into uppercase. Look at the syntax here. For every program, order is common. We can't change the order. The order is, first order is load the data. Second, write the required statement. Third one is display or store. So here same, use the keyword called load, give the file path and attributes of the file, roll number, name and GPA. And here we are writing our actual requirement. What is our requirement? We want to display student names in uppercase. For each A, generate upper. So for each is a keyword, generate is a keyword, upper is a keyword. A is a user defined value, name is also user defined value, that is the record from the table. Now this statement, what it will do, it will convert all the student names into uppercase and result will be stored in this value called B. Now in third statement, what we are doing, we are trying to display. We want to display the output on console. Now the values which are stored in B are going to be displayed on the screen, or in our terminology or programming terminology, let us say it is a print statement. Now how to perform group operations, how to combine group operations. Now here our requirement is group tuples of student based on their GPA. We want to group all the students based on GPA value. Same statement here, load the files using a load command, give the file path and give the attributes of the table. In second statement, we are writing our required condition, that is group A by GPA. Group space A space by space GPA. Here group and by are the keywords, or you can say commands. And in third phase, what we are doing, we are displaying the values, that is dump B. Now the third statement will display all the students information grouped based on GPA value on the console. Now how to remove the duplicates? If you are having same information is repeated multiple number of times, then how can we eliminate those duplicates? To eliminate duplicates, we are having a keyword called distinct. Here we can use distinct operator to eliminate duplicates. Let us assume the same syntax here, because we are taking the same example, same student data for all the examples. So first statement is common. Now what is the second statement? B equal to distinct A. That means whatever repetitive values in A are going to be eliminated and all unique values are going to be saved in B. And finally we are displaying the values of B on console. Display the results on console. So using distinct keyword, we can eliminate duplicate values. And to combine, we can use a keyword called join keyword. Now here our requirement is join two relations, namely student and department. Here we are having two tables, student table and department table. Based on the values contained roll number, just try to apply the combine operation. Look at here. So here we are having two tables. So we have to write two load commands. We have to load two tables into two different values. Like here we are loading student table into A and we are loading department table into B. For both statements, syntax is common. Use the load keyword followed by give the required file path with table attributes. Now here we are having two tables in A and B. Now we are applying join operation on A and B. Look at here. Join A by roll number, comma, B by roll number. Here we are joining two tables, two relations like values of A and values of B. Try to get the values of A based on the roll number. Try to get the values of B based on the roll number and combine. So this is what we are applying. Join A by roll number, B by roll number. So after combining both values of A and B, result is going to be saved in C. Now what we are doing, we are dumping the values C and B. This is the statement. Next, how can we split the data? That means how can we divide the data? How can we partition the data in pig statement? Here we can use a command called split command. Now look at the condition here. Partition the relation based on GPA acquired by the students. Here they have given two conditions. If GPA value is 4.0, place the relation, that means place the values in relation called X. And all the students' information whose GPA is less than 4.0 kept the values in Y. So here we are partitioning the student tables. GPA value is 4.0, GPA value is less than 4.0. Look at here. For both operations we are using only one table, so one statement is enough. Load student table with attributes. Now use a command called split A. Here A is having student data into X. What we are doing here, we are dividing a table called A, a relation called A into two parts. Let us take all these students' value is greater than, that is equal to GPA 4.0, and here we are having less than 4.0. So all these records GPA is equal to 4.0 are going to be kept in relation called X, and remaining values based on condition are going to be kept in Y. So here split A into X if GPA is equals to 4.0, comma Y if GPA less than or equal to 4.0. Among all the records of this table, if any value is having equal to 4.0 GPA, that values will move to X. If any student GPA is less than 4.0, all that information will be kept into Y. And what we are displaying finally, dump X. If you want to display Y also, we can display by writing dump Y, semicolon. So this is the way of partitioning the data by applying split command. Now to apply aggregate operations like average, min, max, we can also do it in pig statement. Calculate the average marks for each student. The syntax is load the data, and to apply average, what we are doing, we are grouping. Group A by student name. Student name. So student name is the attribute of the table. Now what we are doing, we want to calculate for every student. For each B, that means in relation B we are having all the grouped student names. Based on student name we grouped all the values. For each B, generate A dot student name, comma average A dot marks. After grouping all the students' information, we are calculating average of each and every student. That means it is an iterative statement. The statement is going to be applied for all the number of records. Finally, we are displaying the average marks of all the students in a file called dump. Now in the same manner we can also calculate maximum. Calculate the maximum max for each student. The same manner. Group A by student name. What we are doing, for each B, generate A dot student name, comma max A dot marks. In previous we applied average keyword here. Now we are using a keyword called max. Max is a operator. A dot marks. The same manner we can perform map operation, but map is not an aggregate operation. When we want to access the data from map reduce environment, each and every record is going to be maintained in the form of key value paired. So in that key value paired information, we can apply the map operation. It is a complex data type. That is, look at here. Here we are having some information like John, Jack, James, city, we stored with their city name. Here we are calling the file called studentcity.tsv using pig storage as student name map. Map is a character array. Now what we are doing? We are generating for each A, generate M hash city. That means for each command we want to generate data in the following format as city name, like this. We want to display output in this format. Now we are moving into the piggybacking. Now what is a piggybacking? Piggybacking is evaluation of the data based on the required condition. Let us take this example here. Now to apply the piggybacking, here we have to load that piggybacking file. By default it will be installed. If it is not installed, we can load it by calling the register command like root pigdemos piggybank -0.12.0.jar file. If you click on the command, the jar file is going to be installed in interactive shell environment, and after that we can apply the required operations using piggybanking. That means to use piggybank, we have to use a command called or.apache pig.piggybank evaluation string. That means if you want to apply string related operations, we can use piggybank. Now we want to convert into uppercase. Now we'll see when to use pig and when not to use the pig. This is the main aspect here. Now look at here, there are some limitations here. When pig can be used in the following situations. When data loads are based on time sensitive. Based on time and time series data, if we are loading into the storage environment, we can use pig. When data loads are time sensitive. When we are having various types of sources of data, then we can use pig for processing of the data. When analytical insights are required on sample data or on the main data, we can apply. That means when we are having time series data, we can use pig. When we are having various sources of data, like various sources of data, we can apply. Or when we require analytical operations, we can use pig environment. And controversial, when not to use pig. Pig should not be used in the following situation. When data is completely unstructured, when the complete data is unstructured, we can't use pig environment. When there is a time constraint because pig is slower than MapReduce, in that case also we can't use pig. Now we'll see some differences between pig versus Hive. Now pig is going to be used by the programmers and the researchers to write basic programs using pig Latin, whereas Hive is mostly used for analytical activities by the data analyst. And mostly pig is used for programming related activities, whereas Hive is used only to generate reports on the analytical results. When it comes to the language point of view, here we are using a procedural language called pig Latin. Here we can use SQL and relevant SQL programming concepts in Hive environment. It is best suitable for semi-structured, whereas Hive is mostly used only for structured data. And the schematic representation is the explicit data types and data implementations are going to be applied in pig environment, whereas Hive is directly not going to be applied on the data. It is going to be applied only on the implication of the data, that is implicit values. User defined functions are allowed in both cases. User can define their functions in both pig and hive environment. We can apply complex operations like join, order, sort, map operations in both environments. Direct accessing is not allowed in pig environment, whereas it is allowed in hive environment. Here, pig will allow us to perform UI operations like web interface operations are allowed in pig environment, whereas hive will not allow interfacing operation because hive mostly used in command line interface. Here we can perform data partitioning in pig. Hive it doesn't perform any partitions. Both are having interactive shells. That means using grunt shell we can execute both pig and hive. So with this we have discussed concepts of pig, architecture of pig, anatomy of pig, data types and operations in pig. Let us see some of the basic questions here. Pig is a what type of language? In pig, what type of data flow is going to be used for analytical activities? Pig provides dash and executive data flow. What are the different types of execution modes in pig? So we have to mention what are the execution modes here. Pig is used in dash process. So these are the objective type questions in pig environment. For further reading, we can visit the website pig.apache.org or edureka.co. Okay, thank you for the session.